Hey, how you guys doing? I'm sorry I'm late. I forgot how to stream. Took a couple days off. I don't know how to stream. You know, so hey, it's all good. We're gonna figure it out, chat. We'll do some re-educating. You know, we'll re-educate me live. We'll do it live. What up? How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Are you excited, chat? It's the day. F4 spoilers? No, not today. I am doing. That's good. That's good to be doing. Graduated college in December. Nice, man. Congratulations. Can't wait to hear that theme. What theme? Oh, the Fantastic Four theme? Hell yeah, man. It's gonna be cool. I'm really, really excited. I know a lot of people have already seen it. We're not gonna go spoilers today. We'll go spoilers tomorrow morning. I will be checking it out later today. I see it, I think, at around 3 p.m. I'll have to double check. Woo! I'm excited, man. I'm not gonna lie. The reviews get me a little hyped. Really does seem like people like it. I also had some people reach out to me privately, people that I trust. And they said not only did they really like it, but they said they think I will really like it. So, whoo, I'm looking forward to it. I am looking forward to it. So anyway, how you guys doing? Where did I get the jacket? Hot Topic. I think, pretty sure. Yeah, I think this one was Hot Topic. We went and got some stuff at Box Lunch as well. But yeah, the Rotten Tomatoes score is 88 right now. You know what's kind of crazy about that too? Let's look at this. Let's look at this. Look at this together. 88 right now. Earlier today it was at like an 89. It's bounced around. I think it's been as low as 86 and as high as 89. Some people think it could crack into the 90s. But I mean, dude, if you read into the reviews, which we'll get into in a little bit, we'll read into some of the reviews and whatnot. Maybe we can watch some reviews too, man. Harloff's out of the theater reaction actually got me pretty excited. So it does seem like they made a banger. They delivered a banger, and I'm pretty excited for it. So. Gonna be fun. We'll talk about that. We'll get into some hyped up stuff. We'll talk about the Rotten Tomatoes score, ticket sales, box office. I just want to talk about, like, dude, I'm so hungry for great Marvel movies. I'm like fucking Galactus, man. Like, give me the great Marvel movies, or I'm gonna destroy this whole fucking planet. That's basically where I'm at. So we'll talk about that. I also wanted to touch on a couple other things that happened. Feige's son got into Marvel via Marvel Rivals. I think that's fascinating. I have a couple thoughts on that. I want to break down some ideas there. Get this. What's the music today, man? Killing me. So we'll get into that. Thor is the second lead of Avengers Doomsday. That's wild, dude. I have some thoughts about that. I think that's actually a super big deal. So we'll get into that. And then we do have some DC stuff. You know, I didn't actually write this down, but let me see this. DC stuff, man. Titans. Mr. Terrific. And Mr. What's the other Mr.? Isn't there two Misters? What the hell? Mr. Terrific and Mr. Miracle. Yeah, the Miracle, or the Misters. Feige hates Kang. I don't know if he hates Kang. He just decided Kang wasn't it, you know, which is good because I also decided Kang wasn't it. So in my world, this is all good shit. What time are you seeing the F4? I believe I see it at 3 p.m. today. I'll have to double check. They got 1 million Galactus fans on their hands and will destroy it if they don't get what they want. Makes sense. Thor's the only OG left. He is one of the OGs that's left. That is true. Josh, please tell Benjamin no sleeping in class. Him, Noah, and I are seeing F4 at 2 p.m. Ben not answering our text? What the hell? I'm pumped for the movie. Hashtag look up. Wait, what? You got the wrong one, man. Will I upload a video after I watch it? I think so. We're gonna try to do an out of the theater reaction, man. We're gonna try to do it. We'll see. Last time I did it, like, my phone died. I'm gonna try to keep the phone charged. We'll just see. Either way, I'll do a reaction video. I might wait till I get home and get in front of the camera and just chill in here. Sometimes I like to think about it a little bit. Charge it, dude. All right. Yeah, all right. I'll charge it. All right. Holy. I was waiting for your Superman reaction out of the theater, like you said. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. That one was more difficult because I was out of town and I had to go pick up the kids. So it was like my phone was dead, but also I was just like, let's just go get the kids, you know? But hey, maybe someday I'll do all the professional stuff like a real YouTuber, you know? Super pumped for F4 going at 2 p.m. today. Hell yeah, man. Dude, hey, Star Wars Sith, did you see Superman? Just out of curiosity. Did you see Superman? I'm trying to kind of like gauge, like, things are so weird right now. And I do feel like there's a lot of potential comic book movie fatigue. I'm trying to figure out, like, is this movie gonna do really well? Or is this movie just gonna do like, I don't know. Kind of confused. Oh, F4 first. You did not see Superman yet. Oh, wow. I think there's going to be a lot of people like that, actually. I feel like Marvel just, you know, for everything that's going on with Marvel, dude, and trust me, there's a lot, you know, there's a lot going on. The Infinity Saga happened. Like, we all witnessed that shit. You know what I'm saying? So, like, a lot of people are still like up for it when it comes to Marvel. What do you think about YouTubers who fraudulently scam? Yeah, totally. Absolutely. So stoked for F4. Going to see it today with my girl at 9 p.m. tonight. Nice, man. You know, I almost want to see it. Like, I wish that I could see it late at night with like a full theater. Like, that's one thing I am looking forward to, because I do want to see it again and I want to get into a crowd. I doubt the 3 p.m. crowd is going to be all that crazy. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think it's going to be awesome. I'm excited for the folks that are going to see it in a big theater. I think it's going to be a crowd pleaser. I think fans are going to love it. We'll see. Superman was a crowd pleaser. That was cool. Like, it was cool seeing it with a crowd where people were like into it, man, like laughing at the jokes. People applauded at the end. Like, I wonder if people will applaud at the end of Fantastic Four. That would be wild. Started the long journey of reading the Horus Heresy books. So good. Can't wait for the Fantastic Four later tonight. Yeah, so yeah, that's a big thing, man. It's like it's a Rubicon of sorts. If you get through all the Horus Heresy books, like, holy shit, dude. That's a lot of Warhammer. I kind of skipped ahead and read a lot of the End of and the Death series, but I have not actually read through a lot of the actual Horus Heresy books. But hell yeah, man, get to it. Just IH says, I just saw Fantastic Four last night and it was so good. I really liked it and it felt fresh. Hope most nerd Avengers enjoy it as much as I did. Oh, hell yeah, dude. That's good to hear. A lot of people in the community, very hyped on this thing. A lot of folks in the community have seen it already. And on the Discord, people are quite hyped up about it, for sure. Thank you, Pitch Perfect Field, for the gifted membership. Thank you, man. Thank you. 64 books. Yeah, it's a lot, man. Our 2 p.m. theater is sold out for Fantastic Four. What? Holy shit. Okay, well, maybe I'll check again. But when we bought tickets, it wasn't even close to sold out. I live in kind of a small town, though, so. Man, I want this thing. I've been hyping myself up. I'm doing that thing again. I tweeted about this earlier. But I'm doing that thing again where, despite everything, I find myself getting way too hyped for this movie. You know, with Superman, I had somehow found a way to come in with, like, the perfect expectations. Like, I don't know. Like, I had enough concerns, and there was enough stuff that I knew about that I was like, okay, that's probably going to be cool. And I was like, okay, it's probably going to be a little too gun for me, a little too gun humor, but ultimately really enjoyable. And I love the movie. I love the movie. But the problem, I guess it's a problem in a way, but the difference between that and Marvel is like, I can't come in with low expectations for Marvel. I don't know. Like, I just can't, man. I have like core memories with the Infinity Saga, and it's just really, it's hard to forget about that shit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to be having low expectations for the MCU anytime soon, you know? The ethical something or other. Man, I hate this thing. It like changed all your guys' names on YouTube. I don't get it. Totally sucks. Fantastic Four is one Marvel group who never gotten true shine. They deserve it, and Superman has gotten his flowers. It's true. It's true. We're getting some like nostalgic, important, classic comic book adaptations this month. It is pretty cool. Is it true you are working with new rock stars? No. Not that I know of. The Star Wars Comic-Con footage from last night that got me hype. Are we back? What was the footage last night? I know they showed a little bit of Maul. Maybe they showed a little bit of Ezra Bridger. Is that what you're talking about? I have a fan screening today. What's the difference between that and a normal showtime? I think the fan screening is like they'll probably give you some swag. It's probably before other screenings. You know, in the past, the fan screening is usually well before the public release. So it's a little bit weird that you're doing it. When does it release for you officially? Give us all the Stranger Things details. I don't know what that means, bruh. What would have to happen for it to disappoint? Oh, that's a good question. I mean, I guess if it just felt flat, if I didn't buy the characters, if the spectacle wasn't as good as people said, if the action sucked. I guess my big concern, it's funny because like enough people that I trust have told me that like a lot of the things I was worried about, I probably don't need to be worried about. At the same time, I guess it's just going to come down to like, I guess I could see a scenario where like with Thunderbolts, I loved Thunderbolts, but it left me a little unfulfilled. Or I was trying to explain it where I was like, I love this movie, but it's just like there's something, I just feel a little unfulfilled. And I don't know exactly why. But even then, like, I love Thunderbolts, so I don't know if that applies to your question. How much money should a new fan set aside every month to get into Warhammer? Oh, man. As much as possible? Probably. Look, in all seriousness, I know Warhammer gets memed on because it's really, really expensive. There's no way around it. It is really expensive, but it's a lot like golf where you spend the most money when you first get into it. And then after you've spent that, like there's this thing they say in Warhammer communities where they're like, Warhammer's actually fairly cheap after the first 1,000. You know what I mean? Like after about the first $1,000, Warhammer's relatively cheap. You know what I mean? So take that for what you will. It's like once you get your army, you probably just update it a little bit here, a little bit there, you know? Or you just rationalize it to the point that you go numb. Yeah. That's always an option. Hell yeah, that's always an option, baby. I'm an artist. I can't afford to save for Warhammer. I already spend way too much. I mean, that's fair. I also would say if you're an artist, you can find all sorts of expression within the Warhammer hobby. You could build slow. And if you're really good at painting, you could sell your painting, your painted figures, and actually make money off of the hobby and afford whatever army you wanted, which would be really cool. Which would be really chill. Really, really chill. All right, so we're currently sitting at an 87% here on Rotten Tomatoes. So let's pull that up. Let me pull up a couple other things, guys, and then we'll get into this, all right? Fantastic Four. I can't wait. I'm going to shove so much popcorn down my throat. Pause. Let's see here. Where are you at? Okay. Here we go. Okay, let's talk about Fantastic Four. I see the movie tomorrow. A lot of you have already seen it. Happy for you. So I'm going to see it tomorrow. Of course, a lot of us going to see it tomorrow. A lot of us going to see it over the weekend. It's the latest in the Marvel catalog, right? So here's the deal, right? Obviously, the question's like, is this good? Is this thing going to be good? Are we back? I think that's kind of been the Marvel conversation, right? Is it over, or are we back, or are we somewhere in between? And, you know, Thunderbolts kind of had this weird outcome where on the one hand, it does feel like we're back because, oh yeah, I see it today. Oh my God, what is wrong with my brain? Don't answer that question. I see it later today. Anyway, point is this, man. Marvel, what's the deal? Thunderbolts seemed like it was back in a certain way. In another way, it seemed like Marvel's maybe not back. And what I mean is like incredible audience scores, incredible critic scores, great numbers in that regard. A lot of people love Thunderbolts. I love Thunderbolts. I think Thunderbolts is like very, very good, actually. But the flip side is it didn't really make that much money. It made even less money than Captain America Brave New World, which was fucking awful. I know some of you guys like that movie. It's fucking awful, dude. All right? It is what it is. So the question's like, are we back? And that has a two-parter. Are we back in the sense that critics love it, fans love it, the fan base is there? But are we back as in, like, are all the fans coming back into this party? Because that's really what it felt like. Marvel was a big party. Everybody was enjoying it. It was always a thing. And obviously the past couple of years have been so rough that, like, Marvel now gets attacked and memed and, like, people... Like, it's... Like, right now, even with this film, with Fantastic Four, you see a bunch of people online kind of having this attitude where they're like, oh, my God, Marvel actually made a good movie again. And stuff like that. Like, I'm literally seeing that in a lot of, like, you know, meme accounts and all that. And I think that is where the fans are at. Like, expecting bad, expecting cringe, expecting a lot of things when it comes to Marvel. So, as it stands right now, the thing has an 87% on Rotten Tomatoes. Very good score. As opposed to Superman's score, by the way, which, like, Superman held on to an 83% on Rotten Tomatoes. But when you looked into the actual reviews for Superman, dude, there were people that gave this thing... Did you see that there was one person that gave it a 4 out of 10 and gave it a positive tomato? So, like, Superman was kind of wild where, like, basically all the reviews were like, very flawed movie, still recommended. Which is, like, I agree. I love Superman. I'm not trying to talk shit. I'm just trying to bring up the point that is not what we're seeing in the reviews for the Fantastic Four. You go through these reviews, a lot of people loving this movie. A lot of these fresh tomatoes, way more glowing than what they were when it came to Superman. Now, you have some people that just think it's still too Marvel, it's still too comic booky, and I think that's fair. You know, I think it represents a certain sect of the population, of the critics, and potentially of, like, the wider audience as well, right? You're going to have that there. However, it's just fair to point out that, like, a lot of the negativity in these reviews is coming from people that don't seem to like Marvel comic book stuff or any of that, right? So that's interesting. You know, a tale a little bit different than Superman, a little bit different than what you get with the Fantastic Four, right? So we'll see what the audience score shakes out. But whether the thing goes up by a couple points or down by a couple points, that is a damn good Rotten Tomato score. You know, far better than what was Captain America? What did Captain America get? Like 40, 50, something like that. Like, it was really embarrassing. So this is a good start for the Fantastic Four. Now, interestingly, these numbers do appear to have, or these critic scores do appear to have affected the pre-sales. Okay, so I'm over here on Box Office Global, or Global Box Office rather. Fantastic Four pre-sales had an amazing boost yesterday after stellar reviews. F4 is now projected to make 24 to 27 millions in previews. That would make it, by the way, the biggest Thursday of the year, beating Superman, and now tracking for a whopping opening of 120 to 140 million. And they mean that domestically. Okay, now here's the thing, though. I have to point out, and Luis has done a great job of pointing this out as well. Like, let me see if I can find his official kind of breakdown projection thing. Yeah, so this is kind of interesting, right? So we just saw global box office. There are other outlets that are also saying it's going to, like, blow up, like, towards the 140. However, like, the industry, like Hollywood people, have projected it much lower. So this is interesting. Luis says here, and we follow Luis a lot. His box office coverage, I think, is incredible. Let me just try to adjust this for you guys. Yeah. So Luis says, now the fireball is with Fantastic Four. Received positively by reviewers, Fantastic Four First Steps got exhibitors hopeful for another massive box office performance. That's important. Exhibitors. Industry, and he means Hollywood people, remain cautious due to recent MCU underperformances, with projections seeing 100 to 110 3-day weekend in the U.S. and a 90 to 100 in the 5-day. This would make it for 190 to 210 million global opening. So what's happening right now, and we've sort of seen this play out over the past couple of weeks. I think the conversations around Superman kind of hid a lot of what was going on with the Fantastic Four. I remember there were some of you in chat and on the Discord that were like, yo, where's the numbers for Fantastic Four? Like, what? And I kept saying, like, they're out there, they're just really rangy, just like Superman. But, like, Superman was so the conversation that, like, long range projections from last week kind of got buried by Superman news, et cetera, et cetera. So Hollywood itself is being cautious. That's what Luis is saying. That's what Global Box Office is saying. That's what a lot of people are saying. Now, I sort of view that, and you guys let me know what you think, but I sort of view that as Hollywood is setting Fantastic Four up for a lot of positive headlines, right? Like, it kind of feels like if the distributor, because remember, the distributors were the one that pulled Superman down, and they were like, I just don't know about this, like, 160 number. Like, that's what originally had pulled it way down. And remember, there was a time period where pre-sales for Superman stalled out. This was reported by multiple people, but, like, basically what happened was a whole bunch of folks kind of just said, let's wait and see. Maybe they didn't like some of the late in the game comments. Maybe they didn't like some of the late in the game previews, whatever, trailers, etc. But for whatever reason, the pre-sales for Superman a week out hit this weird stall. Now, they did pick back up after reviews came out, which were also really good for Superman. Fantastic Four never had that slowdown. It was light in a lot of other markets, including China, okay? But it never had, like, this noticeable slowdown. And it has also picked back up, or kicked up, rather. So, look, I take this to mean I am personally predicting this thing will operate right at Superman domestically, perhaps a little bit better than Superman. There is a chance it goes crazy and, like, goes further up than that. There's a chance it underperforms. It comes in slightly under Superman. I would expect the international box office to be slightly more kind to the Fantastic Four as opposed to Superman. You know, something really interesting happened. I don't know if you guys have been following along with this. China, who has been so unkind, not just to the comic book movies, but to a lot of American movies in general, China's box office ahead of Fantastic Four also accelerated quite a bit. It's now actually performing better than a lot of other movies. Some people are now projecting it in China to make towards 30 or 40 million. You know what I mean? Like, on its total run, which would be pretty crazy. I don't know if that's exactly where it's going to land. But either way, it has picked up majorly in China. It also picked up majorly in Europe as well. So a lot of good positive signs for Fantastic Four, man. Like, absolutely massive numbers coming in. So it's going to be a hit. The question, of course, will be, will it be the hit that Superman is? Will it perform better than Superman? Will it perform worse than Superman? By the way, small side note on this, because I know a lot of you are curious. Superman is looking to perform pretty well this weekend against Fantastic Four. Better than I expected, but it's still probably only going to make like 20 million or something like that. But that's still really good domestically for going up against a big juggernaut like this. Like, that's kind of wild. So that's kind of where it stands. And now I just got to say that for me personally, and I don't know, man, I'm wondering where you guys are at. You know, I love DC. I wouldn't call myself a hardcore DC fan. Some of you guys in chat are more of a DC fan than me. You know, I would say Rob's more of a DC fan than me, right? I'm not like the biggest DC fan in the world. I like DC. But man, DC fans, y'all showed up for Superman, and I saw a bunch of you guys on Twitter, a bunch of you guys in the Discord that were like, I'm going again. And I think part of that was we waited so long for good DC and for like something to root for, something to like be excited for, and Superman represented that. And it was basically like good enough for a lot of folks. And they put all of their sort of pent up DC fandom energy into that thing, and they're going crazy. Here's the thing, though. I am more of a Marvel fan. I am a massive fucking Marvel fan. The MCU and its success literally changed my life. You know what I mean? Via the YouTube channels, etc. So I'm a big Marvel fan, bro. Like, you know what I mean? And I almost feel that I've reached a point that's similar to the DC fans. Even though I loved Thunderbolts, there's a big part of me that's like, dude, I need that fucking Infinity like Saga itch, man. I need that old Marvel feeling. I need this shit to be dope as fuck. Take me to the next thing in an excited manner. Like, I want to fucking feel things. I want to be shocked. I want to be like a child, you know what I mean? With like big stupid smile on my face. And there's a part of me that thinks that if this movie can do that, you are going to see not just myself, but you're going to see many other Marvel fans show the fuck up. Because I think we've also been waiting. We're also like wanting that. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm hoping that it exceeds or at least meets my sort of outlandish expectations that I'm putting upon the film. I'm hoping that the movie gets into my top 5 Marvel. It feels like it could, because not only does it look incredible, but it seems uniquely suited to satisfy all my various interests, man. Like the sci-fi horror, the big scale, the epicness, the how they might crack this thing open. Oh, I'm really, really excited. So, as it stands right now, guys, Fantastic Four's off to a great start. It does sort of feel like Marvel is back in a way. I know we say that every time, and it's clearly not so obviously established that we don't have to keep having this conversation. But it does feel like this one's different and this one's special. And holy shit, am I excited, man! I'm excited to check it out. So there you go. Yeah, no, I see a lot of you guys talking about Hulk Hogan. That's tragic. How old was he? When? What was the cause? Are they saying anything? That is a bummer. That is sad news. I know, right? A lot of you guys that are like older, that are kind of like my age, we're going through that time in life where all these great people that we like for whatever reason are all dying. It's tough, man. It's a tough part of the game. Tough part of the game of life. Yep. Yep. Yeah, it is. It's a part of getting older for sure. Great people or famous people? Yeah, I mean, I understand your question, and go fuck yourself. How about that? I'm 37. Hell yeah. Ban the people dropping spoilers? There are people dropping spoilers? Dr. Josh, sick jacket. Tell me where you got it, please. I think I got it at Hot Topic, bruh. Hot Topic. Den of Hulk Hogan? No. I mean, I'm not even like that big of a fan. I just think that like the kind of like pedantic 4chan energy type folks that are like, actually, what do you mean by that? It's like, dude, shut the fuck up. That's just me though. That's a me thing. Actually, I want to be pedantic about this while others are mourning. I mean, I'm not really even mourning, but I will say go fuck yourself, you know? When does SDCC start? SDCC is already rocking, actually, and there's a ton of things going on at SDCC that have me quite excited, man. I'm going to be keeping an eye on the announcements over the weekend and all that shit. Like the Magic the Gathering shit with Marvel. I know it's like... So the thing with the Marvel stuff is with Magic the Gathering is I'm so into it, man. I'm gonna get so excited about it. However, I also know, like, as somebody that just has watched what's going on with the Magic community, that they're not exactly pumped about it. It's not going to be met with open arms by a lot of that community, and even the Marvel community is kind of fractured and a little upset. Everything just feels a little over commercialized. So there's a part of it that's like, man, it's a little like, it doesn't feel as good to be like really, really excited about a big corporate collaboration. At the same time, I'm a sucker for it, man. I'm excited. The Spider-Man set looks dope. The Spider-Man set looks so good, man. And they're apparently they're doing a thing with some of the Legends figures where you can get maybe a special version of the card with one of the Marvel Legends figures. Like, hell yeah. Hell yeah, I'm about it. All right, let's talk about a couple more things and then let's get on out of here. Sucks you're not streaming tomorrow? Huh? Oh no, I'm streaming tomorrow. We're gonna do a spoiler stream tomorrow for the Fantastic Four. Yeah. We're gonna do it. Yeah, I don't think anybody's dropping spoilers. I haven't seen anybody. Whoa, dude, there's a Marvel Legends Spider-Man mask with adjustable lenses that do blinking? Oh, man. These kids don't know how good they have it these days, bro. Like, this is crazy. I want that for sure. I want it. All right, let's talk about a couple other things here, man. Let's talk about Marvel Rivals. I think this is pretty funny. Did you guys see this? Where Kevin Feige's son finally got into Marvel. And it wasn't the MCU that got him into it. It was Emma Frost's cheeks. I'm talking about Marvel Rivals. So, you know, Kevin Feige did that big interview over the weekend. He got a bunch of journalists to interview him with a ton of stuff. And yeah, we don't really hear too much about Kevin Feige's personal life because he doesn't like put all of his family in all of his movies and be front and center like for the promotion of all his films and stuff like that. So many of you probably didn't even know that he had a son. I can imagine being the MCU guy, being like the most prolific producer in Hollywood, and everybody probably kisses your butt, and you probably got Marvel shit all over the place. Just because I'm a dad, I would understand that your son probably doesn't give a shit and doesn't really give you any of the time of day or the accolades or the praise for any of that. You know what I mean? So trust me, I get it, Kevin. And I did find it interesting, though, you know, because that's kind of fascinating because Kevin is a really smart producer and he does have his finger on the pulse of like fan expectations, fan desires and all that. But I do think, you know, like, it's not 2018, 2017 anymore. Like, so obviously, right? It's almost 10 years ago. And I think Kevin, like a lot of other folks, is somewhat out of touch with a lot of the new generation. And I think when he was in the heyday of the Infinity Saga, like the things they were doing were like blowing people away. I think he was right there with the sensibilities, right there with the expectations. But I think that it's obvious that that hasn't really connected with all the young people. I mean, all these young people want to dress up like the Minion dudes, and they want to do like chicken jockey and like weird ass shit like that. A lot of them are also gamers. So anyway, the point I'm trying to make, I'm kind of yapping, but so Kevin Feige's son gets into Marvel finally, and it's because of Marvel Rivals. And I think the quote that Feige gave was something like, yeah, I tried to get him into it, never happened. He starts playing Marvel Rivals, all of a sudden he's asking me about the Punisher. He's asking me about Hela. He's going to then check out the other shows and find the lore and stuff like that. And that's kind of wild because, you know, we had heard this anecdotally a lot from different folks. Like, there were a lot of people saying that comic shops had seen a huge uptick because of Marvel Rivals. Like, a lot of different accounts of this happening. But you never, like, knew for sure. You were like, okay, that makes sense. Like, that's cool, but I don't really know. Dude, for Kevin Feige himself to literally be like, you know, my son could not get into Marvel Rivals until this game. I hope he investigated, and I would expect that he would investigate why this happened. Like, why was this the thing that finally got his son into Marvel? And what is it about Marvel Rivals that makes it accessible for people like his son that the MCU has sort of doesn't have, right? And I think that's kind of crazy. So we've had this conversation before, but I'll sort of paraphrase some of the things that I think is going on. I think the number one thing, I mean, first of all, it's just a great game. It's really well designed. It's fun. The kits are all incredible. They feel right for the character. Like, each and every kit feels so right for the character. It's kind of wild, right? The world's fun. It's really fun. But I would say this works in the sense of accessibility. The characters in Marvel Rivals are basic standard versions of what you would expect when you just hear the character. You're just like Captain America. Oh, probably muscular dude, blue Steve Rogers. And that's what it is. Hulk. Green rage monster, skinny little nerd dude. And that's what it is. Like, they don't overthink it. They're not doing like the MCU version of it. The Rivals difference is like a little bit in the art design, but ultimately it's not necessarily comic accurate, but it's like a simple adaptation of what the comic idea of these characters are. I think Marvel's like overthinking this shit a lot. Like, the MCU is overthinking this. Like, even with Shia LaBeouf, right? Like, and I'm excited. Like, I think she's gonna be great in the film. But even that's like, that's just you shouldn't do it. Like, you just shouldn't do it. Like, they wouldn't do Shia LaBeouf Silver Surfer for Marvel Rivals. You feel me? Like, because they were like, what's the most popular like basic version of this character? Silver Surfer, nowhere in red. Boom, and they would just do it, right? So I think there's a lesson there. By the way, it was kind of funny, man. I was going around getting the Fantastic Four merch. Bro, a lot of the merch is just the male Silver Surfer. I don't know if you've seen this, but like a ton of it. It's just literally the male Silver Surfer. Like, these people were like, I'm not doing that. And it's like kind of wild, okay? So I think that's kind of a part of it, is like, Rivals just does the characters. It doesn't reinterpret them. It doesn't try to make a statement about them. It doesn't reinvestigate what makes them them. Like, no, fuck that. It just is the characters. So that's number one. Number two, I do think the sex appeal is real. And dude, it's so funny because you could try to say that I'm full of shit. You could try to deny it. But I think it's been so proven with the memes. Every time a new female character for Rivals comes out, you see thirst traps and fam cams and like, just, dude, it's all over the place. The memes, all of it, right? So I think that's a lesson for Marvel as well. And it's actually something that like Bo DeMeo and the X-Men 97 people, like, they kind of tried to establish that a little bit as well. Because that's a horny show, like, straight up. Like, X-Men 97 is horny. The X-Men have always been horny, but it was damn sure, like, I was like, whoa, that's like a horny show, especially for Disney and Marvel, right? The reality is, desire is a part of the comic book thing, Like, there's a reason that all of the characters until, like, I don't know, the last 20 years when people started to reinvestigate these ideas, but there's a reason that, like, the majority of the great comic books were these absolutely beautiful women or these absolutely jacked dudes. Like, it's an idealized thing. Like, the superhero physique, the superhero body, all of that. Like, I feel like Desire is sort of caked into it. And I felt like Marvel, the MCU, they did a bad job of, like, making it all seem, like, weirdly asexual and, like, there's no desire and sexuality in this thing. It just felt weirdly Disney and, like, censored, right? So I think that's something you've got to take away. And look, I straight up think Kevin's smart enough to figure this out. Like, I think he is smart enough to figure it out. I think you will see the Marvel Rivals effect, as people call it, penetrate the brand at many different angles. You know, we already have the swimsuit issue for comics, for Marvel coming back in the first time in, like, I don't know, 30 years or something like that. That's pretty wild. Did you just hear about the Punisher series? So, like, dude, Punisher fans... Like, I know Punisher fans have been going through it a little bit. Like, Marvel tried to, like, change him so he didn't have his logo. They were like, it was weird. There's a weird couple of years there with the Punisher stuff. I actually liked it when he kind of became a god and, like, killed Hercules and all that shit. But I understand why Punisher fans were like, you're just doing this because he's become political or whatever, right? Anyway, point is, dude, Punisher basically, like, with John Bernthal being like, I'm not going to do that. And sort of forcing Marvel's hand a bit. And now he's going to be in Spider-Man. He's getting his Ma Nucci, crazy ass fucking Garth Ennis special. They just announced they're doing a old school. Jimmy Palmiotti is doing an old school Frank Castle Marvel Knights comic book, like as old school as it gets, bro. Wait, let me show you this. Show you just like the cover and the art, man. Oh my god, where's it at? I thought I put it up here somewhere. On my thing. Maybe not. I don't know. Either way, it's awesome, dude. I'm excited. I'm gonna get that book for sure. But the point I'm trying to make is, like, I think it's interesting that Rivals made this impact. We joked about it. We memed about it. We were like, Marvel Rivals low-key saved the Marvel brand. And I think this story here with Kevin and his kid, I think it's just another example of that. Like, bro, like, it's probably not memes anymore. It's probably not jokes anymore. Marvel Rivals, when the Marvel Cinematic Universe was taking a big shit, Marvel Rivals kind of kept them afloat. Like, they got lucky, dude. It made a big impact on the culture. It made a big impact in the fandom. Whew! Can you explain Marvel Knights? So, Marvel Knights was originally an imprint that Marvel actually went to, I think it was like Joe Quesada, Jimmy Palmiotti, maybe a couple other dudes. I'm blanking on the names. They actually had their own imprint. And so they went to these guys and they said, hey, we want to revitalize some of these characters. We'll give them to you. You do the imprinting. You actually do the producing, publishing or something like that. And that's how it, like, started. But it ended up being cool. A lot of people fucked with it. So Marvel Knights became like a thing. It's been a wave for a while. That new Black Panther book that Christopher Priest wrote with the white T'Challa son, that's in the Marvel Knights thing as well. And I believe Christopher Priest was probably one of the OG Marvel Knight writers as well, now that I think about it. I'm probably getting some of that wrong. That's like the TLDR, though. Yeah. Jesse Pinkman says, I'm so hyped for the movies lately. Fantastic Four is going to be fire, and especially after Weapons in a couple of weeks, which people are saying is movie of the year. The trailer is fire, too. Yeah, dude, there is a lot of fun movie stuff going on, man. I'm even excited for the Mortal Kombat film. Like, for whatever reason, my wife and I are both real excited for that Mortal Kombat, dude. And the Predator movie, we're excited for that shit, too. So, it's going to be cool. It's gonna be real cool. What do you guys think of this Rivals stuff, though? Do you agree? Did Marvel Rivals help to save the Marvel brand? Do you agree with that, chat? Yes or no? Nope. Definitely. Yes. Yes. Pull it. Definitely. Yes. Got the Galactus bucket and heading to SDCC. Hell yeah, brother. Have a good time. No. Yes. No. Duh. Of course, says Justin. Justin, how can you see this so clearly and you can't see that Warhammer's the future so clearly? What's wrong with you? How do I reach these kids? Have I seen the weapons director wants to pitch a Joker movie? I did see that. That sounds cool, man. Do it. No rivals. I can't play that game. Well, that's okay. You know, I don't think you have to be able to play the game to be able to appreciate what it did. It had an impact, man. It had an impact. And this new comment from Feige kind of crystallizes that for me. I'm asking you the same shit. No, I'm asking you the same shit. I'm just a shit too online gamer. Okay, nothing wrong with that, man. Thoughts on the Booster Gold Rider? I'm not familiar with the Booster Gold Rider. Did they talk about that? Who's the writer? That probably came out yesterday, huh? Is the jacket worth it? Let me just tell you this. I got the ace. You know it's hot in this room. I told you guys it's summer. It's hot in this room. I got 2 air conditioners running because I said, fuck that. I got to wear this Fantastic Four swag. You know what I mean? I do also... I'm not wearing anything underneath on the bottom. Actually, that's not true. You guys can see my jeans. I was trying to fool y'all. How much was it? Bro, if you ask that question, you can't afford... No, I'm just kidding. I actually don't know. I legitimately did not check. It's probably not cheap. Lid jacket, where's it from? Hot Topic. Looks fantastic. Thanks. He stole it? Yeah, dude, that's exact. I didn't look at the price tag. I just yanked it and ran. Thanks for entertaining me on my 7-hour drive to see my pops on his B-Day in Kentucky. Happy big 70 to my dad. Much love, Josh. Appreciate you, Charlie. That's awesome, man. My dad's coming to watch the kids today while we go to the movie, so I'm excited to see my dad, too. It's actually my mom's birthday today. So, hell yeah. Were you the oldest person in this store when you bought it? Yeah, probably. Came in with my walker. They were like, can I help you, sir? And I was like, I need the cool news. Did I save it? Are we still live somehow? What the fuck? Hang on. And let's go! Oh, I don't even know how that shit happened. Let's go! Woo! Hell yeah! Seriously, have no idea what just happened. I mean, I know the power went out, but how did it just keep the stream up? You know, it's probably that thing where, you know how sometimes, like, I'll end the stream and it'll just, like, keep going? And then you guys will be like, stream's still going. Normally, that stuff infuriates me, and I'm like, what the fuck? This time? Hell yeah. Saved our ass on that one, boy. Do the old man bit again? I missed it. I don't remember. I came in on a walker and asked them for all the cool shit. You're lagging? I am not. You are. I'm not lagging. Your brain is lagging. Think about it. Have you played the Battlefront Classic Edition? I don't know. I don't know if I have. What's the dealie on that shit? What's the dealie? Audio is laggy? Is it really? Or are you laggy? What's the back of the jacket look like? Hey, look, there's a dog back there. He thought we wouldn't see him. There you go. Patrick, welcome to the Nerdvengers. You are a Nerdvenger now. David Jenkins is writing Booster Gold. Thoughts? What else did he write? I'm not super familiar with him. I mean, Booster Gold is cool. Man, DC's got some, they got some stuff. Sending some love from Dayton, Ohio. Jacket is crispy. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you, man. No lag, looking good. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. The servers are dead, but there's a Discord apparently that game's hard on it. Oh, okay. DC TV doing some good shit. I mean, they might be. Are you still getting your Galactus buckets? My theater only had 6. What? If they have enough today, I'm going to get them. Yeah, R.I.P. Hulk Hogan, huh? R.I.P. Hulk. Will I be picking any merch up from the theaters? Depends on what they have. I don't know what they have. I'm definitely going to get the popcorn bucket. When Booster goes back in time a bunch of times to try and stop the Joker from shooting Babs was pretty awesome. I don't remember that shit at all. Sounds cool. Sounds real chill. My movie theater said they already out of the popcorn buckets. Like how? I don't know. I mean, people might be scalping them. They've actually probably been available for a little bit too, so people could just pick it up. Thoughts on the Jimmy Olsen show? I think the Jimmy Olsen show sounds good, man. I think that's a cool idea. Okay, right on. Any Warhammer news? I actually do have a bit of Warhammer news. I wasn't gonna talk about it today though. I don't know if anybody. I mean, it's Fantastic Four Day. You know what I mean? I was gonna talk about the news maybe next week. Saw an end credit scene leak and it's glorious. Yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm excited to check it out. Here's what I'll say about the Warhammer stuff. Okay, if you watch the latest. Luton 09 video, and a lot of you will know Luton because I think he is one of the dopest content creators in the space. He recently did a video breaking down like the Age of Ruin, the new little end of the Horus Heresy thing. Okay, one of the things he brings up in that video relatively early on is there's a version of the Aquila that has like one side of the eagle is like all dead and skeleton-y, and it's only been posted online by Cavill himself when talking about the show, and then it was in this book. And so some people are speculating that what that means is they've decided the time period for the show is going to be in what is known as like the Age of Ruin, or right after the Emperor gets put on the Golden Throne, which would make sense. I mean, the Custodes would be heavily involved in this part. This would technically be before 40K, but like right after the Emperor is put on the Golden Throne. So a lot of interesting stuff could happen there. I don't know. We'll see. Could just be a bit of speculation for sure. How do you write a comic series? I make music, but interested to learn the process. Is it linear or putting ideas together? I want to make my own someday. I mean, there's probably a lot of ways to skin that proverbial cat. It just kind of depends. Some folks so there's two basic kind of writers, but really all writers are like a combination of the two. There's a type of writer known as the architect, and then there's a type of writer known as the gardener. A gardener kind of just like has a spark and starts and then just writes, and it really allows the characters in the world to take the writer to different places. So like George Martin is a great example of a gardener, which is why his books take fucking forever, because he'll sometimes write himself into a corner. Architects will sometimes have the ending figured out first, and they're a bit more meticulous as far as how to get there. they'll often do a lot of like outlining and things like that. Whereas a lot of gardeners will just do a draft. Like they'll just do a rough draft and then work from that. So yeah, that's sort of the basics of it. But you get in there and you just kind of figure out your own style. I think like most things in life, if you want to get into a craft, and I think writing is a craft, right? You probably get into it because of your taste. Meaning like you like certain things within that space more than others. And you've developed taste. Well, if you're doing it right, when you first get into a craft, it should not be to the level of your taste. Like what you are able to create should not be good enough by the standards of your taste. That's okay. That's like the process. That's how you do it. Like you kind of just aim for that, and then you keep getting better and getting better and getting better and all that, right? That's what I'd say. That's what I would say. There should have been a Fantastic Four and Superman comic for the crossover. That would have been kind of fun. I don't know how they would do it exactly, but yeah. Where did I get the jacket? Hot Topic. Hot Topic. Okay. Something else I want to talk about. Let me see if I can get this pulled up here. Okay. Do you guys see this shit, man? We got to talk about this. This is kind of cool. M. Spiro Jr. Welcome back to the Nerd Avengers, man. You are a Nerd Avenger once again. Okay, let's talk about this, guys. This is actually pretty crazy. It's flying under the radar, and I think I know why. It's probably just all the Fantastic Four stuff, you know, the post-credit scene. People are hyped. But this is a big deal, and so I want to break it down. Chris Hemsworth's Thor will reportedly be the second lead character in Avengers Doomsday. What? Now, first off, where does this come from? This comes from Matthew Bellany, an incredible reporter. Very, very good track record. This comes from his podcast. I forget what it's called. But he's really, really reliable. Okay. Now, this is also kind of backed up by a couple of other interesting sort of ancillary pieces of news here. So, like, for instance, we did get some people speaking to how Chris, in preparation for Doomsday, went on the same regimen of food, diet, and exercise that he went on for Love and Thunder. He was trying to get jacked as fuck for this role, which is really interesting. It also somewhat corresponds to when he made that statement on social media. You know, it just, there's been a lot of buzz surrounding Chris Hemsworth and Thor. And so I believe this. I believe this. Now, what Matt actually said, if you can read it, he basically said that from what he is hearing, Thor is going to essentially be the co-lead of the movie. He's going to have an absolutely massive role. Oh, man, I wish I could find the exact quote. I did have it pulled up before the fucking internet went out. Let's see if I can find this shit. Oh, here it is right here. So this is what he said on the Town podcast. He said, from everything I've heard on Avengers Doomsday, the second lead is Hemsworth. He's got a major role. Entertainment journalist Matthew Bellany says on the Town podcast, the expectations are so high for that. I think they feel they need to have these stars that everybody already knows in these roles to eventize it to that degree. Okay, so that's pretty wild. Now, couple of different things we got to put, because I think this is actually massive fucking news that is flying under the radar. I'm going to explain why. Let's start with the basic Becky ass shit, the thing that everybody's going to point to, the thing that's obvious. Thor has a big connection to Loki, his brother. And with Loki being somewhat of a focus, at least it really seems like TVA, Loki, the end of time, that throne, and all of that. It seems like Thor's going to be connected to that. Is there a way that Thor can have contact with his brother or be able to find his brother or something like that? That just feels obvious. We've also heard so many different reports that Marvel wants them to have a reunion, and the reunion is probably going to be a very big deal. Okay, so that in and of itself, I think, is like, okay, that would track. Like, that makes sense. Another thing I would say is if you look at the setup for Infinity War, Thor is actually an incredibly important character in that plot. He is able to weave a lot of the other threads together and eventually come to the point where he has the big scene at the end. It's all spectacle. They have the fight with Thor. He doesn't aim for the head, all of that sort of stuff. So Thor's actually like a really useful character because he's so knowledgeable of the universe. He can survive and travel everywhere. He knows all these things. For a big spectacle movie like Infinity War, he was like a really important thing that like tied a lot of the threads together. So I think that's part of it that's interesting. The other thing is that Eternity being somewhat of a focus of Thor Love and Thunder and the Citadel of the Gods. Do you remember like the place where Zeus is at and there's all those gods, there's celestials there, there's you know, all sorts of beings. I think even Bast is seen there. Whole bunch of gods and celestials at that one place. And so I'm just thinking in terms of like with Jonathan Hickman's Time Runs Out stuff, right? There were moments where you see all of these cosmic beings and entities slaughtered. Right? There's a part where they roll up and find the living. It's either the Living Tribunal or Eternity dead. And this was when it was Hyperion and Thor, and they're trying to make like a final stand against the Beyonders. It's an absolutely wild part of that story. Well, with Love and Thunder setting up Thor's connection to the gods and the cosmic entity of Eternity itself, I think that could be a way that Thor plays a really big role in this thing. Because remember, in Quantumania, Kang talks about killing Eternity. He talks about destroying Eternity and burning the other Kangs out of time. And it seems like there's this thing in the MCU, whether it's a fixed moment in time, a canon event, as the Beyond the Spider-Verse films refer to them, or whatever. It seems like there are things that are sort of fixed that will always happen regardless of how the timeline changes. That appears to be a thing, right? This is really explored heavily in the Doctor Strange episode of What If Season 1, where he keeps going back in time to try to save Christine Palmer, and it just never happens. So in that universe, that's not how that goes. Fixed points in time. It feels like what Kang was trying to do in Quantumania was go kill Eternity so that he could truly rewrite time without these constraints, without these fixed moments in time, right? It might even be the case, by the way, now we're getting a little out there, but it might even be the case that the reason there's an X-Men universe, the reason there's a Fantastic Four universe in the Sacred Timeline is that maybe He Who Remains could not actually just make it so they didn't exist. And so instead he had to sort of separate off timelines where they exist away from each other, right? That's a possibility. But for whatever reason, however it ends up happening, Eternity could be a big part of what Doom is doing or what is happening to the multiverse overall. So I think Thor, like, here's an idea I had, okay? What if the child, Love, who is Chris's actual child, by the way, what if that character who seems to be connected to Eternity has like Eternity spirit or something like that? What if she dies? Or what if she gets sick and starts dying? And that's like a really easy way for Thor to understand there is something wrong with the multiverse. You know what I mean? So that's just one way to sort of jumpstart Thor into getting into the story. But also his like grand cosmic knowledge, his connection to his brother, that all could track to make this make a lot more sense. Now, there's two other things we got to talk about here, okay? The first one is, well, let's start here, and then I'll do the flip. Then I'll talk about the thing that's really crazy, okay? So, remember when Benedict Cumberbatch said he wasn't in Doomsday? Do you remember? So there's a moment where he says he's not in Doomsday. We were all sort of shocked by that because we're like, wait a minute, he's supposed to be such a big part of the story, right? And we had assumed that because the time runs out and a lot of the reporting that Alex Perez had, that Doctor Strange and Doom were going to have some of the most important scenes in the history of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But the truth is that's kind of a lingering scoop from Kang. Kang and Doctor Strange were originally supposed to like really come to a head in a conflict, and they were supposed to have some of the biggest scenes in the Multiverse Saga. It's never actually been confirmed that Doomsday will have Stephen Strange and Doctor Doom have conversations and develop what is happening in the multiverse. And in fact, this news with Hemsworth here is starting to get me to think that instead of Doctor Strange, perhaps Thor will play that role now. And perhaps Thor and Doom will come to a head in some fashion as Thor is exploring what is happening to the multiverse, the universe, etc., right? So that's like a possibility there. I thought when I was hearing about this, I could not help but remember back to the Doctor Strange thing. And I thought to myself, like, you know, it's a little bit more like Avengers Forever if like Thor figures this thing out and maybe he's even like jumping through realities or some shit. But at the same time, it does sort of track with those comments made by Stephen Strange or Benedict Cumberbatch. I don't know. I mean, maybe they still end up having that because a lot of the concept art seems to have Stephen Strange there with Doctor Doom, right? Which is interesting. So a lot of questions there, but I did think if he is truly the co-lead of the movie, RDJ is the lead. So if he's the driving force of it, is he replacing Stephen Strange's role? Or is he going to do a lot more heavy lifting in as far as like exploring what is going on with the multiverse and all that sort of stuff, okay? But here's the kicker. Here's where it gets really crazy, and this is something I'm fascinated by. A lot of the Avengers are rumored to have dual roles. Okay? This includes Scarlett Johansson, if she's really in it. There's some contention on whether or not she's in it. I believe she is. This could include Wanda. This obviously includes RDJ. This probably includes Chris Evans. I believe you're going to get a Nomad Cap, and you're also going to get a Hydra Cap. And I think that's going to be a big driving force of the plot. So there's a possibility that Hemsworth is also playing a dual role. And what if we see a version of Thor that's a little bit more evil, or like a version that never actually became heroic? Maybe he is like Odin Thor's Rune King Thor. Maybe he merges with Ultron, which is something that happens in some of the comics. So I think there's a possibility that Hemsworth is the lead, and maybe they've found a way to make it sort of Thor versus Thor. You know what I mean? And that could also be really interesting. You know, I'll take this to like another place, and that's, you know, I know we've been talking about a lot of the leaks and the rumors over the past couple of months. I am starting to get the feeling, guys, that a lot of what we thought we knew about Doomsday is actually incorrect. And part of the reason why I believe this is I was looking at the Fantastic Four plot leaks, and I realized something really wild. Basically, in January of this year into December of last year, there were a lot of fake leaks. All of them felt similar, but there was like a big fake leak that like went all over the internet, okay? And we know that Marvel did a fake leaked script for Deadpool and Wolverine. That's why Alex Perez was like, Jean Grey is going to fight Wanda and shit, right? It was never in there. I'm starting to think that Marvel is putting out fake scripts and fake leaks and tricking a bunch of people. But the difference is like 4 or 5 months later, which happened this year as well. 4 or 5 months later, the actual leaks hit. And it's like so obvious the timing. When you look at Fantastic Four, you're like, okay, fake leak, fake leak, fake leak. Oh my God, this one's actually it. You know what I mean? I'm starting to think like this James Mack guy, and I actually unfortunately think a lot of the other scoopers like Shine, Daniel, Alex, I think a lot of them are actually being taken for a ride here. The Russos talked a lot of shit about how they could prevent leaks and they had like a system for that and everything. I'm starting to think they might actually have it. Like I'm telling you, like I don't even think Doom takes Franklin Richards to the X-Men universe. I don't even think that's real. Now, we'll talk more about that after the Fantastic Four movie because there's some stuff in there that'll help explain that. But people's interpretation of that, I think, was wrong. And I can't help but think it might have been wrong, like, intentionally. That there's, like, a fake leak kind of conspiracy thing where they're trying to get us all to think it's one thing and it's actually something else. So that's kind of interesting. And with all of that in mind, dude, I hear that Hemsworth is the lead. I mean, that doesn't match up with anything else the Scoopers are saying. But Bellany would know. Like, Bellany is very fucking reliable. Right? So how do you square that circle? Well, it's pretty easy. They've actually thrown a lot of the Scoopers off the scent. And I would love that. I don't know if they'll be able to hold on to it for the whole year and 6 months until the movie. Exactly. Doombot says they don't even mention Thor in the leaks. That's my entire point. And I kind of like it, dude. I kind of like it. So, yeah, it's just interesting, and it's flying way under the radar. I'm telling you, I think this is a big fucking deal, guys. I think it's a big deal. I think it sort of hints to fake scoops, fake leaks, and the movie potentially being very different. And also, I just love Hemsworth as Thor, man. I love Hemsworth as Thor. I would love to see Hemsworth, Thor, Doctor Doom. Like, let's get it. Let's fucking get it. Anyway, what are your thoughts, man? Hey, bro, if you like FF merch, pull up ABC Fantastic Four collab. It's insane. Depth worth checking out. On stream, Advisory Board Crystals. Alex Ross art. Advisory Board Crystals? The hell? The hell's an Advisory Board Crystal? Whoa! Look at this shit. Hey, why aren't you guys getting me this and sending it to the P.O. box? The hell? What the hell? Looks so good. They got such cool shit. Invisible Woman shirt that's like invisible, dude. I'll wear that on stream. You think I won't? Oh, dude, a lot of this looks cool. Oh my god, it looks so good. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Thanks for pointing that out. Could we get Herald of Galactus Thor? Dude, that would be lit. That would be fucking lit. I would love that shit. That would be fucking lit. Wow. Tell me how Superman got an 8 and praised by IGN, and then you look at the Fantastic Four reviews and they give it a 7. It said it lacks capital M moments. I don't know. I mean, I feel like IGN is like a meme at this point, so I don't know. I don't know how. Are we seriously getting mad at IGN's reviews and shit? What are you doing, dog? What are you doing, dude? No, I'm happy to see you too. Did you guys know that when the dog does that, they're actually not stretching. They're saying, I'm happy to see you. When they do that, like, bow thing. What's up, bud? What's up? You want to come up here and say hi? Come up here, say hi to the people. Come on. Come here. What are you being so lazy for? Come here. No? I don't know. Maybe he's like camera shy or something. I don't know. What's up, buddy? He's just being lazy. Oh, don't lick yourself in front of the camera. Jeez. Holy shit. Yeah, you should get out there and get a job, man. 100%. What's his name? Luke. I have two dogs. 2 Shiba Inu. One is named Luke, one is named Leia. Sound. There you go. He's also laying a little close to my Warhammer there. You know, like you're a little close there, bud. There's a whole bunch of couch. Why are you right next to the Warhammer? I don't like that. Dog looks tired. He does. Yeah, he is the chosen one. Is he not the chosen one? All right, let's talk about some DC news. Man, DC, man, they're kind of cooking. They are kind of cooking. Let's talk about this. So we've had a lot of little scoops and hints here about DC projects. Do you guys understand what this means, by the way? I'm just curious, like, because we got some pretty smart folks over here. You know, you guys are pretty educated around these parts. Can anybody answer me? Why are there so many different DC things popping off right now? Oh, so many different pieces of news, so many scoops. Why is this happening? Anybody understand it? Anybody? Bueller? Anybody? Bueller? Yeah, it is the most famous meme dog of all time. You're right. Yeah, it's because of Fantastic Four. No, it's because Superman is a success, and they're gonna keep going. Superman's a success, they're going to keep going. So that they're looking at more stuff, they're pushing more stuff ahead, and this one is particularly interesting to me. Anna Nogueira, is that how? God damn, Anna, that's a tough one for me. Nogueira. Anna Nogueira, super easy. You guys are just dumb. Has turned in a draft for the Teen Titans movie. Now, why is this such a big freaking deal here? Well, the reports are that James Gunn absolutely loves this lady's writing. She is apparently also writing, what, Supergirl, I believe? And working on Wonder Woman. Unless I am mixing them up, I'm pretty damn sure this lady is writing all of that shit. Okay? It's also possible she was working on The Authority. Now, we don't know exactly what happened with The Authority, but they had a script. Apparently, according to Snyder, Zaslav was like, it's too expensive, not enough big characters, we can't do it. Maybe they could do Superman versus The Authority. That'd be cool. But anyway, so Gunn recently made a comment that the writer that was on Authority has moved on to a different project, and they're killing it. Okay? Really, really interesting. So this gal is apparently just killing it. And Gunn absolutely loves her shit. She's the Supergirl writer. She's turned in a draft of Teen Titans. She is writing Wonder Woman right now. This is kind of crazy. When's the last time we saw something like this happen? Is this Marcus and McFeely type energy? Because Marcus and McFeely write a ton of Marvel stuff throughout the Infinity Saga, all the Russo brothers stuff. And some stuff before that, I believe, too. So they, like, got in there. I mean, maybe it was, like, Joss Whedon before. Like, Joss was kind of, like, the workhorse before. I find this to be fascinating, and I like it, man. When you find somebody that works well within the system, I love to see this kind of energy. And it could also help for the cohesion of the entire universe overall, right? Superman, definitely its own thing. I think it was the movie it needed to be. It's a little simple. It's not that complicated. It's, character focused. It has some flaws, but I think it's so important that you get that right. You start with Superman. And I appreciate it. I think Gunn was right about that. Even if it's not like a smash hit, it's good enough. And I think it's an incredible foundation for everything to come. This, though, is quite interesting as like the potentially next step, okay? So what is she writing? She's writing Supergirl. She already wrote Supergirl. That's filming. It might actually be wrapped, and Supergirl's going to be its own thing. We'll see how that does, right? She's going to turn around and do the Wonder Woman thing. All we know so far about Wonder Woman is she's going to be very mythological and be very adventure-focused, right? So this Diana going to be probably what you would expect more from the comics, maybe from Justice League Unlimited. Maybe even a little bit of that like Kingdom Come kind of Diana energy. I think she's gonna be badass, strong, an adventurer. I think she's gonna fly. I think, you know, very comic booky Wonder Woman. Okay, and then you got the Titans. And here's the thing, man. I think a lot of fans that are not big DC people, or maybe they're just normies to DC, I think there's a bad impression of the Teen Titans, probably because of that Teen Titans Go show and the original Teen Titans cartoon show on Cartoon Network. Look, don't get me wrong, the show's great. I like that show a lot. I think it did some damage to the brand of the Teen Titans, though, because Teen Titans in the comics, I mean, dude, you're talking about like George Perez and some of these other people. Like, Titans has a great group of talent, and there were some really fucking serious stories that were done in the Teen Titans. Like, the Teen Titans are cool. They're badass. Like, it's a great team. I just think there's like a little bit of an impression people get that it's the silly team. It's like Young Avengers or some shit or whatever. It's like silly, goofy Cartoon Network type stuff. No, the Titans are hard as nails. A lot of them age well past the teens, by the way. Yeah, they're like a really good team. So I'm kind of fascinated by this. You know, there's some rumors that we've got Damian being built up in the Batman story. Eventually, he joins the Titans as well. Dick Grayson becomes like the leader of the Titans for a long time. Obviously, it's crazy when they meet Starfire, Alien. I just watched the Judas Contract animated movie, DC. Incredible, man. If you want to get a taste for the Titans and how they operate, why they're a cool team, check out the Judas Contract. Really cool. Young Justice, of course, as well. So this is kind of fascinating, man. And all of a sudden, you look at the pieces here. I'm still not sold on Supergirl. I personally think I will like the movie. I think it might have been a misstep to go from Superman into Supergirl, because look, if the argument is like Superman's kind of lame and it's not that well known, but you're doing a derivative version of that character that's female and she's going to be a party girl. I don't know. Like, how do you go from like, if Superman gets to 700 million, then I'm going to shut up because they're going to be fine. But if Superman does kind of barely get to 6 or, you know, get into the mid 5s and then stall out, I think my argument stands where it's like, you can look at Superman and kind of say, well, maybe the reason it didn't do a little better is because it's Superman. And if that holds to be true, I also think it's probably true that you shouldn't do Supergirl, this like derivative next thing. However, that being what it is, I think Wonder Woman will be incredible. Wonder Woman is an important character in DC. I also think she's very different than Supergirl and Superman. And if done correctly, Wonder Woman's going to be like a goddamn savage, dude. She's going to be a little bit more like a hard-edged Spartan type character. I'm really hoping for that. I'm hoping for that version of the character. And so that's a good move for me. It could also tap into like the gods, the old gods versus the new gods, the old world of DC, how they view the metahumans, how they view the Kryptonians, all that sort of stuff, right? So I think that's good. Titans is like literally the most anticipated one for me out of the whole thing. And I love Wonder Woman. Supergirl, I think, is going to be great. Wonder Woman's probably going to be epic as fuck. But a proper Titans, like a proper Titans, could be the best shit they have on the board. Other than maybe Lanterns, that could legitimately be the best shit they have on the board. And I'm pretty excited about that. So that's kind of interesting. You know, we had a couple other things, too, where they talked about how Mr. Terrific and Mr. Miracle had both recently got like this copyright thing. Let me see if I can pull this up for you. This is kind of interesting as well. Warner Brothers, or rather DC Comics, has filed trademark applications for Mr. Terrific and Mr. Miracle across multiple categories: motion pictures, entertainment services, comic book toys, apparel. So it seems like they're really going to go for, you know, doing some more Mr. Terrific stuff. When this first happened, people were like, oh my God, a Mr. Terrific movie. That's not exactly what it means, but it does kind of mean they want to kind of lock down the possibility of all of that. And then when it comes to Mr. Miracle, that character is lit, dude. That character is fucking awesome. What's his name? Scott something. That character is amazing, and I think it was Tom King did that really great run of Mr. Miracle that really felt like a 9-panel grid. It harkened back to the old style of like the Silver Age. It felt a lot like David Aja and Matt Fraction's Hawkeye book. Scott Free is his name. And dude, that run is incredible, dude. That Mr. Miracle run is like one of the coolest comics I've ever read. So these are fire characters. You could kind of see here where this thing might go. If the Wonder Woman movie is being fast-tracked, it's very possible that there's a Mr. Terrific element there, via the old gods and the new gods. That is absolutely a thing that could be going on. That would be really interesting. Maybe Mr. Miracle shows up in Supergirl. Maybe Mr. Terrific shows up in Supergirl. I don't know exactly. But this is just another sign that, like, DC, Warner Brothers, they're off to the races here, man. Like, they're cooking. They're excited about the success. They're excited that people are interested and, looking into all this sort of stuff. I think it's really cool. It's a great time to be a nerd right now. Dude, I'm telling you, these characters are cool, and they deserve to have their shine. If we get a proper, like, if we get a Judas contract or some shit for the Titans movie, holy shit, man. And, having a proper Mr. Miracle and, like, maybe a proper Big Barda as well. Like, oh, dude, that's some dope stuff. That's some dope stuff. So, yeah, just a couple of updates for you guys here. Look, Supergirl, Clayface, not exactly the most inspiring 1-2 punch to me. But a lot of this other stuff, I feel like they're cooking. I feel like they've got some good ideas. I think they're going for it. There's a Booster Gold thing that people are talking about right now. Maybe that could work. Booster Gold is cool. A lot of different ways you could tackle a story like that. So we'll see how it all shakes out. But the bottom line is the reason you're hearing so much reporting on this is because there's massive momentum there. And they're probably looking at a lot of stuff. They're getting a lot of scripts made, going into pre-production on things, or at least hearing pitches about different things. There's the guy that's doing the Joker pitch. He just talked about this. The guy that directed and I think wrote the Weapons movie. I'm not super familiar. I'm not a horror guy. But this guy wants to pitch. He said in an interview, he wants to pitch to James Gunn a Joker and Harley movie. Like, dude, with the right angle, that could actually work. I'm genuinely really excited for this period of comic book movies and comic book shows. DC has really breathed new life into this thing. And you got to give Gunn credit, good enough with Superman. And that's a huge fucking ask to do that. So good enough. And they're off to the races. I'm excited, man. So there you have it. Bunch of updates there. I wonder if you have any questions about that. And we will continue to do, deep dives and explanations for all of this DC stuff. Because I know we got a lot of Marvel heads over here. We got a lot of Star Wars heads. We got a lot of Warhammer heads. So don't worry. I'll try to explain it all as we get into it. But as a big old giant fucking nerd, I'm telling you, I'm excited, man. Good stuff on the way. For sure, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I think that's all the main topics, man. I think that's all the main topics. So now let's talk about Marvel Magic the Gathering for the rest of the stream. Let's see here. Trenzetta says, do you honestly believe there can be a recast for the two most important characters in the MCU? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And not only that, I actually think people will get hyped for it, man. I actually do think people will get hyped for it. Zach says, I think the possibilities are what has everyone hyped for DC. I'm interested to see where it's going. I got to watch after work, but much love. Nerd Vengers for life. Yeah, totally. I think the possibilities are what is driving the interest there. And I have a lot of other DC videos I've been working on. We're going to do some Fantastic Four content, right, in the next couple of days. But I have other DC videos. It's kind of nice that we have time, man. Like, it's kind of nice compare the two, right? You compare Marvel right now as a fan, and you compare DC as a fan. With DC, it's like, it's fresh, it's new. The next films are years away. We have no idea what the big bad is. We have no idea what the 10-year plan is. There's so many unanswered questions, and we're trying to figure it out. With Marvel, it's like we know everything. We've seen all the leaks. We know where everything's going. We know it's Doomsday and Secret Wars and X-Men. Like, And don't get me wrong, like it's exciting, it's interesting to think about like the MCU X-Men and like the reboot. But I think genuinely Secret Wars and what happens after it are really where the fandom's interests are. And part of why is because it's new, it's fresh, and we don't know. Right? So I think Marvel kind of, I don't know, they could probably learn a thing or two. Maybe that's why they want to do the recast, because they're like, they recognize that when you sort of set in mystery and we don't know exactly, that's fun. You know, so I think there's a lesson there. That's why competition is good. Like I know there's a bunch of people right now that are like, why does it have to be Marvel versus DC? Why can't we all just get along? You actually, as a consumer, do not want that. You know what I mean? Like, and I shouldn't say you don't want that. I should say, you know, maybe some of you do want that, but you don't realize that that wouldn't be good for the quality of the content. You need competition. You need somebody to hold the other's foot to the fire. You need inspiration to cross-pollinate. And that only happens via competition. So this is good, man. This is a good time. There will be no 10-year plan. Oh, no! You don't think so? You don't think they're going to make it? If Titans is pushed early, I would assume that means we're not going to see Dick Grayson and Robin alongside Batman. Correct. Correct. Going straight to Damian isn't good, in my opinion. Oh, I think going straight to Damian is the move, man. Shalami Leaner says, I honestly like your DC videos more than your Marvel ones. I can't wait for the DC deep dives. Yeah, I mean, look, I think at the end of the day, like, here's the way I gotta be honest with you. That last DC video we did is doing really good. It's like over 80K. I haven't checked it today, but I would imagine that thing gets past 100K, maybe towards 200K. Because it's valuable now, it's going to be valuable for a long time. Like, because we don't know. So I'm just grabbing the broad strokes and trying to fill it in with comic book information. That video is going to serve a purpose and set up, like, it's just different. With Marvel, it's like there's so much established. And then every week it feels like we get a new leak and then that totally recontext. And we know where it's going. With DC, it's like we don't know. So the speculation is more fun. You know what I mean? So it's interesting, man. I think the future is bright, but I do think Marvel probably needs to realize what's going on. But at the end of the day, I kind of expect over the next 6 to 7 months, I actually expect my DC videos to be doing better than my Marvel ones. You know? Not to say that once we get to Doomsday and Spider-Man 4, my Marvel videos will be popping like crazy. But I'm just saying, like, I think there's enough interest in DC that in the next 6 months, I will be able to create a lot more compelling content that serves an interested audience and people will watch it. With Marvel, like, people are a little checked out, man. Like, they're, you know, like, I think I've been making pretty good Marvel content for a long time. The problem is, like, the news cycle with Marvel is a bit fatiguing. The cycle of release of content is a bit fatiguing. People are a bit checked out, man. You know? So maybe it's good. Like, as excited as I am for Fantastic Four, and I'm really excited for Fantastic Four, I'm actually also excited for the year-plus break. Year-plus break before Spider-Man 4. Dude, that's good. We need that. I need that. I need that. Because I need to miss Marvel, like, in the way that I miss DC, and getting back into DC right now, like, feels good. It feels fresh, and it's like, I'm really enjoying it. I need Marvel. I would like to have that feeling with Marvel again, you know? And I think we can. I think we can. Have I not watched it yet? I have not watched the Fantastic Four. I see the Fantastic Four in 2 hours. In 2 hours. Like you missed Star Wars? I don't know that I miss Star Wars. I definitely miss the feeling that I got when I watched Star Wars. And I'm hoping that, like, look, I'm rooting for Mando Grogu. Maybe Mando and Grogu could be lit. I think Ahsoka Season 2 is going to be the one for me. And that Maul show, oh my God. Yo, do we have a release date for the Maul show yet? Because I'm kind of trying to figure out, like, when do we get Nerd Theory back going again? And I know all of you guys are like, do it now, do it fucking immediately. Just relax, okay? I'd like to plan it when shit's coming out. It's coming out in 2026. Like, dude, this shit look good, bruh. This shit look good. Early 2026. Dude, that's what I'm saying. Dude, that would be great for, like, the Nerd Theory comeback. Is, like, we start with a huge breakdown of this shit. And if it releases weekly, even better. We can have conversation each week as we go over it. Darth Snape with the 10 spot. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you with the cheers. Much love. Theory has been busy with Comic-Con stuff. Yeah, for sure. He's traveling a lot right now. Seems like he's having a blast. Seeing FF in 1 hour. Leaving the house now. Have a great rest of the stream. Dude, enjoy yourself, brother. Enjoy yourself, brother. I am excited myself. Oh, shit. Guys, real quick. Am I setting myself up for disappointment, or am I actually going to be excited? Like, what do you think? Because the hype is rising. Can you make a stream tonight for spoilers? We're going to do a spoiler stream tomorrow morning. Maybe early. Depends. It was good? Ooh. Ooh. Yay, more animated crap because Star Wars can't get in theaters. God damn, Justin. Justin, man, you need... Brother, you've been grumping a little. You know what I mean? Like, you've been grumping a little. Do I need to... I know I said... I figured it out. I think I know what's going on with Justin, guys. Okay? A while ago, Justin and I were talking, and he was like, I can't believe you with this Warhammer shit, man. Are you serious, or is it all just one big troll? And I was like, Justin, Warhammer is the fucking coolest shit I've ever experienced in my life. And he was like, prove it. And I was like, I'll send you some Eldar. You know? And then I never did, because I do that all the time. I say shit, and then I never follow through. You guys remember when I thought Nerdy News Rundown was coming back? Anyway. I never sent Justin the Eldar. So, Justin, do I have to paint up some Eldar this weekend and send you some out? Is that what it's going to take? Because, number one, you'll be more into Warhammer, but also, I think you're just going to be happier in general. You've been so grumpy. Just tell me. Just be honest, man. You know, I'll paint you up some Eldar. Or am I setting him up for more disappointment, you know? Sorry. We never got the calendar either. I don't think you guys did whatever it took to get the calendar. I don't remember what it was, but nah. Johnny Storm is lame AF in the movie. Oh, really, Patrick? You're banned forever. Banned forever. Johnny Storm is so lame in the movie. Are you getting your popcorn the Aki way? I don't know what that means, but hell yeah. Hell yeah. So, can we talk about the Magic the Gathering Marvel for a little bit here, guys? You guys know about this? Have you seen this? Have you seen this shit? Yo, throw a 1 into the chat if you play Magic the Gathering. I'm just curious. Look at these cards, man. Peter Parker is sick, and then the Amazing Spider-Man that he flips into, dope as hell. Really like that mechanic. The Spider-Man 2099, sick. I like Spider-Man Noir a lot. The Venom's really cool, too. I like this one. Reminds me of the old show. Grow arms. Little, like, green buff. Look at this. They have like the comic book variant of Peter Parker. That's going to be cool. Yeah, this Venom is really cool, dude. Whoa, what the fuck? Open image in new tab. Why does it do that? I don't understand that. It can't just open the image? That's weird. That's super weird. Yeah, that shit looks cool. The Spawn of Null. MJ Rising Star. Look at this MJ, man. Woo! Can I open it from this side? I just don't understand why it wouldn't let me. Open image in new tab. Dude, it's doing this shit again? Does anybody know what the fuck is going on with that? Anyway, that's the MJ. There's that. Look at this, man. That's crazy, dude. People gonna build, and this will only make sense if you're a Magic player. People are gonna build white weenie decks with MJ. Like, I'm dead ass. She's actually pretty good. Like, what was that card? A Johnny's Primate or whatever? Like, she plays just like that with Vigilance? That's fucking crazy. Josh has pictures of Doomsday. Oh, no. Did that leak? Did you see all the pictures I have of Doomsday? No, don't look. Don't look at the Doomsday pics that I have. Seeing FF tonight. Can't wait to eat some popcorn out of Galactus's head. Is Marvel not doing the story between Spider-Man and RDJ Doctor Doom? It's kind of hard to say. I don't know. That's another one that's kind of up for debate. You would think they are, but they're also cooking an incredibly complicated story, and they want to have a lot of characters have shine. So it's a tough one, Matt. We'll see, brother. Look at this, though. So big old 6-drop here. That's pretty big. You probably want to, like, get him out of the graveyard, do some recursion. Anyway, Menace, that's pretty good. Whenever another creature dies, put a 1/1 counter on Venom. If it's a villain, draw a card. That's a pretty good engine. So this is definitely in a sacrifice recursion deck. So you probably try to recur him out of the graveyard. Yeah, this is cool. I don't know if he's good enough to build a commander deck around, but he's cool. For sure. I was talking to Matt, Nerd of the Rings, last night a bit, because he's like at San Diego Comic-Con, and he went to this thing and got like the welcome decks and stuff. And I was talking to him. I was like, dude, do you like play Magic? And he just started with the Lord of the Rings set, but he doesn't have any commander decks. And I was like, oh, dude, you gotta build some commander decks, bro. Commander is the way to play Magic. I'm gonna build like a ton of Marvel commander decks. Ooh, I can't wait, dude. When is the MTG channel starting? Well, I'm not gonna start an MTG channel, but when this set comes out, I'm gonna do a whole stream where we crack boxes. So we're gonna crack a bunch of boxes on stream. Maybe we'll play a bunch on stream too. Like if I can find some people that want to play on, I think it's called Spellgate. There's a service I used to play it all the time. It's either Spellcast or Spellgate, and you turn your webcam down, and you can play. And literally, it has interface spell table. That's it. It has interface that you can click the cards on the other person's camera and get info on the cards and all that sort of stuff. Oh, dude. Like, there's some really fun ways to play MTG, for sure. I also think, by the way, that they are going to do Star Wars MTG cards. I do think they are going to do that, but probably not for a year or two. But even though I talk so much shit on Star Wars, I will get Star Wars MTG, man. And you know what else is crazy, chat? After this Marvel comes into MTG, you will be able to play Warhammer and Marvel together. Yes. Because I have a ton of the Warhammer MTG decks, dude. I love the Warhammer decks. So now I could literally play Warhammer and Marvel in Magic. I could have Eddie Brock hanging out with the Necrons. Let's go. Seeing F4 tomorrow, and I've been excited for the final trailer and been reading a lot of Kirby, Byrne, and Hickman to get in the mood. Ooh, that sounds great, dude. That sounds incredible. Or Space Marines. Yeah, but the Necrons are black spells, so they would go better with Venom. But yeah, I could technically play them together, yeah. Is Nerdhammer still going to be a thing? Yes, Nerdhammer is still going to be a thing, although Matt is not going to co-host anymore. He's going to be more like a rotating guest. Matt just has a lot going on. He couldn't commit to the full-ass podcast. It's actually because the lore is too fucking crazy. It's like, to get into Warhammer is such a tall task, man. And to understand the lore is tough. But Matt loves Warhammer, and he's still going to come on, do some episodes and whatnot. But, yeah. Yeah. What's my go-to MTG color combo? So I like blue-white. I like blue-white a lot, man. One of my favorite decks is an Elminster deck. And so he was a wizard from the Dungeons and Dragons set. And I'm telling you right now, when that shit pops off, it does like, I do like multiple turns and stuff. Dude, I love my Elminster deck. One of the best decks I ever had was, I think it's Urza. I had a mono blue Urza that was just, I mean, it was busted as fuck. Like, as many free artifacts as possible to mana ramp and shit. That deck was crazy. I have a Dragon deck that is fucking dominant. Love that deck. Yeah. I'd have to go look at some of the decks, man. I have a ton of really strong commander decks. I made a Thrun beatstick deck. It's really good. Mono green Thrun beatstick. It's real good. Why is everyone hating on Joseph Quinn? I don't think anybody's hating on Joseph Quinn. I mean, there's probably some people hating on him, but I don't really see it as a big thing. Hi, Josh. I love you. Oh, hi there. Love you too. You hate everything. You're setting yourself up. No! Not this time. Working on a slicer deck, mono red. Oh, that sounds fun. If you do community spell table EDH, I'm all in. Oh, hell yeah, man. I'd be down. I want to, I honestly even think this science fiction set that just came out looks really cool. I was thinking about getting a box of it. Splitting a box with the wife. We love cracking packs, man. We used to, I mean, Magic just burnt us out. We used to go to pre-releases and crack boxes together and shit. It's been a couple years. I forget the last set that we did, but like, dude, it just burnt us out. Like, the product just came out way too quick. Edge of Eternities looks so good. I love the FF set. Yeah, I'm glad I'm not a huge fan Final Fantasy guy. Because, dude, that set looked cool and also very expensive. So if you like that shit, man, that probably burnt a hole in your pocket. So I'm actually glad that I'm not a Final Fantasy fan. I did not think the set looked particularly good. Like, I didn't like the PS5, PS4 graphic type shit. But the science fiction set looks cool, man. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Huh? StarCraft MTG set would go hard. True. Well, I kind of think the science fiction set is a little bit of a setup to make the Star Wars stuff play better. I think that's why they went to that plane and Have that going on. Pedro drama is so dumb. I mean, yeah, to a degree it's silly, but also, like, I do think he's being a bit weird. You know, I think it's one of those things where it's like, you could say, hey, why is Pedro being so weird? Or you could say, why is everybody being so weird about Pedro? And you're both right. You know what I mean? Like, he is being a bit weird. Everybody is being a bit weird about it. I don't know, maybe humans are just fucking weird. Y'all ever think about that? Have you ever considered, chat, that we humans are just a bit odd? By the way, I told some of you guys this already, but I bought a new camera. I bought like a $2,000 camera, which I immediately started regretting after I saw all these magic cards. I was like, why did I spend all that money? But I bought a new camera. It was very expensive. 4K. You're going to get to see all of this in 4K, baby. And maybe other parts of me too. Anyway, you spent 4K? No, I spent like 2.5, 2.6 or something. It shoots in 4K. Yeah. Yep. Get ready. Get ready. I'm ready for my close-up. What camera is it? I don't know, man. It's a Sony camera. Den of buying a 4K camera to cancel streams and not use it. I mean, that's fair. You know, touche. That's pretty good. I give that one a golf clap. That's pretty good. Where's the calendar? What calendar, bro? Josh is tired of talking? A little bit. I mean, I don't know. Stop. What are you trying to accuse me of? I think I'm tired of talking, so I'm just going to do like 4K OnlyFans pics now? Man, I'm so excited for Fantastic Four. Some people I trust reached out and they were like, bro, yeah. Woo! I'm excited, man. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good-ass time. I'm going to try to do it out of the theater reaction. I'll try to do it out of the theater reaction, so probably not. We'll do a spoiler stream tomorrow. That'll be cool. Go look. Go look at what? What you saying? Oh, the Tasteful Nude calendar? We need to get to 3,000 members. I haven't checked members in forever. We might not even have 1,000 members because I don't really push it at all. I don't even know. But, yeah, maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll get back to that. Maybe we'll be like real streamers and put up the number on the screen and be like, hey, look, we need to get to this number, blah, blah, blah. Do you sit through 40 minutes of ads and previews when you see a movie? Hell no, brother. I usually show up a bit late. Not like a bit late, but no. I do not go into the theater and watch all that shit. Nope. Man, I think it's going to be real cool. I got a bunch of really cool content lined up for the Fantastic Four 2 ending explained, contextualizing the post-credit scene because I think people are getting it wrong. A lot of dope shit, man. A lot of dope shit. A lot of stuff to get into. What ranking in the box office so far? What do you mean? What ranking in what sense? You mean like the score or The box office money? Like, what do you mean? Rivals live stream? Maybe someday I'll play Rivals on stream again. Did I miss the Smart Water ad? No, but Smart Water's so good. I love Smart Water. I'll be drinking it. Any video reviews we can check out non-spoilers? Maybe I'll do non-spoiler out of the theater tonight. Hydration shill. My hype for F4 seems vacant right now. I'll watch tomorrow, though. Post-credit scene seems to be getting clowned on online. So I can't talk about spoilers, right? But I'll say this. I have a little bit of mixed feelings on the post-credit scene because I've seen it already. But I think I know why they did what they did. I don't necessarily love it, but we'll talk more about that on Monday and shit. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of hyped up stuff, though. I'm excited to get into it all, man. And I'm excited to just, like, experience this shit, you know? But, guys, I am going to get out of here pretty soon here. I'm going to get out of here in, like, 5-10 minutes. Anything else on your mind? Anything you want to talk about? Any other questions, comments, thoughts, concerns? Fantastic Four! Fantastic Four! I'm so anxious. What are you anxious for? Josh, you didn't mention Tron Ares? No, I don't think I did. What should I... How should... I'm not excited for it. I heard there's a Kirby tribute at the end. Oh, that would be cool. Yeah, that would be fun. It's crazy that it's already here. Time flies. Oh. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Would you rather be able to see it and only have your wife explain what happens, or watch it but you're blind? I'd rather not answer your question. How about that? I'm almost at the theater now. Let's go. Oh, hell yeah, baby. Have fun, brother. Battlefield 6 trailer out. Does it look good even? I've never been a big Battlefield guy. I've got some friends that like it. You know, I got some friends that like it. Thoughts on the Clayface official plot synopsis? I haven't seen it. I mean, look, Clayface, I'm number A, I'm not going to watch it. Letter 2, who cares? If it's awesome, if some crazy shit happens, I'm sure we'll hear about it. You know? I asked my wife to shave her head and paint herself silver, and she said no. Can you believe that? I can actually believe that, yeah. Yes, Baby Bird. I agree. I think that's going to be good. I think there's going to be so much fun. So much fun to be had. And then Spider-Man 4. And then the real lead-in to Doomsday. Doom. Dr. Doom. I need Optimus Prime versus Iron Man animated movie. That'd be kind of lit. How confident are you in the bet right now? I'm incredibly confident. But at the same time, like, I guess it's to the point where I wouldn't be surprised if Superman, like, just barely beats Fantastic Four, because Superman does still have a lot of hype. Like, people really enjoy that movie, and it is clearly helping the film. At the same time, the Marvel fandom is larger, just in general, because of even though there's been a lot of bad stuff over the past couple of years, there's still just so much from Endgame and Infinity War. I mean, those are the two biggest movies of all time. Like, you got to think about, like, why was the second Avatar 9 years later able to be so successful? Because the first one was the biggest movie in the fucking world. Duh. Same thing with Marvel. Marvel's has the ability to tap into, like, one of the largest groups of awareness ever. It's just that they fucked it up, and not everybody's, like, showing up every time. Fantastic Four feels like a film that's going to tap into that very large group of folks. It seems to be satisfying a lot of people, so I would expect that it has a really big opening weekend and pretty good legs, you know? If this thing operates the way that, like, Guardians 3 does, I think it does, like, 100 million more than Superman, maybe more. But we'll see. I'm not going to be mad. I mean, frankly, like, I'm not trying to brag or whatever, but, like, 500 really ain't that much to me, no matter, like, either way. If I have to pay Brandon Davis $500, but it means that DC is back, bro, it's going to be cool. Like, we're good. You know, like, I'm not that worried about it. I would rather win because I actually want to be right. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be right. And I think it will be. We'll see. We shall see. Let's see here. Coldazar says, watched FF twice. Galactus is nuts. Shalabal is fast AF. Reed is kind of cold with his intellect. Ooh, I like to hear that. Sue is the strongest FF member. Fortify your minds. Ooh, I like that, baby. I like that. I'm interested in reviews because critics will glaze it regardless. Everything is Pedro is in. I mean, yeah, you know, if you're skeptic of it, that's fine. Totally understand that. No big deal. Sanguinius versus the Lion. That would be tough, dude. I feel like Sanguinius would probably get smoked. Or rather, the Lion would get smoked. However, here's what's interesting. Like, the Lion right now, he's technically a little weaker because he got old. But he also has crazy warp powers now. And we don't know the full extent of what the Lion's warp powers are. So it's possible he's able to tap into some power that he did not have before. But just in raw physical fighting ability, I think he is a bit weaker. But he also he did banish Angron using the Emperor's Shield, right? So I don't know. It's probably be a good fight. I still think Sanguinius takes it, though. Lehman versus Lion. I think Lehman takes it, but Lehman's probably been around, too. Lehman's probably older as well, right? Unless he died and came back. Because, like, okay, so G-Man was never stronger than the Lion. But he was in stasis for 10,000 years. The Lion was alive and aging. So, like, Gilliman might actually be physically stronger than the Lion at this point. But I still think the Lion takes it just because he's so good of a duelist, and that's not really Gilliman's thing. Yeah. Yeah. It's doing better numbers without previews internationally. It is doing slightly better numbers. China, though, is, like, real back and forth. Like, I read a lot that said China was doing so much better. And now it's kind of seeming like maybe it's actually not that great. I don't know. I don't know, guys. I don't know. We're going to find out. We're going to find out together. Hell yeah. Okay, everybody. Hey, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I'll try to do an out of the theater reaction tonight. I'm going to see the movie at 3. Probably leaving in about an hour. So I'm going to get out of here, chill, get some clips uploaded on the Clips channel, and get ready to go check this thing out, man. I am quite excited for it. The next time we speak, I will have seen the Fantastic Four. Appreciate you guys, man. as I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day. And I'll see you in the next video. Oh my God, 44 months. That's a good sign for tonight. Let's go. Somehow you're talking about Warhammer, I bet. Take a big old blue and white dump in the shape of a 4 right on Superman's chest. That's what I'm looking for. Take a big old blue and white dump in the shape of a 4 right on Superman's chest. That's what I'm looking for. Is everybody gone? Did everybody leave? Leave. Oh man, another happy landing. Oh, I'm so excited. Fantastic fun. Gonna see fantastic fun. I did actually think, I don't know if you guys saw the video I posted with the Doctor Doom mask. I'm not going to do it right now, but maybe on one of the other showings, I want to go in there in the Doctor Doom mask and record myself, probably like an empty theater. And at every moment, I'll just talk shit on Reed like the whole time. That'd be kind of funny. That'd be kind of cute. Anyways, guys, appreciate you. Much love, man. Take care of yourselves out there. I'll see you soon. Did you hear my dog just now? She like sneezed on me. Anyway, hey, do me a favor. Actually, do me two. Open up your third eye and wash out your stinky butt. I'll see you later.